Hello, welcome to White Birch Tarot and Astrology. It appears I've gotten croaky in the last couple of minutes. I just uploaded an astrology video for the time, so I'm separating the tarot and the astrology tonight. I'm just going to read one quick quote. It is by Lewis Carroll, one of my favorite writers in the whole world, Mr. Brilliant. He said, "Do you know what the issue is with this world? Everyone wants some magical solution to their problem, and everyone refuses to believe in magic." I think that's very wise. So, I don't know what I did here, actually. I pulled some cards, and then I pulled some shadow cards, and then I was going to draw an archetype card, Kim Krans, and they wouldn't come out, so I drew what's it called? Wisdom of the Oracle. And I decided the next time I do a reading, I might do 3 of the Kim Krans archetype cards and then nothing else. So anyway, this looks interesting. And again, I did the astrology video first, so some of that might come up here. But I was shuffling, and this was at the bottom. And I think it meant to be in the reading. I'm not sure, but I think it did mean to be in the reading. So this is about having an epiphany moment. It's less about something being knocked down, although it is kind of destroying old patterns. But it's about seeing, something that needs to change, and you have a sudden insight about it. The crows just reminded me of something I was going to read. Oh, well, I'll find it for next time. There was a really neat poem that had crows in it. Actually, I think I wrote it, now that I think about it. Then we get the 7 of Swords. And I wasn't sure if this was, okay, let me back up here. I was kind of thinking about relationships when I was doing the reading, because Venus is squaring the north and south nodes of the moon. And she has been for a couple days, and will for a few more days, like a week. And so I was thinking about relationships. So when I saw this, I thought, is this us in relationship? Why are we being so defensive? Or is this someone else being defensive with us? I'm not sure. So I asked for a clarifier, and I got the Fool. I think it's us. I'm not saying we're fools, but I think it's about us taking a closer look at relationship patterns and trying to do something a different way. Because we're being overly defensive about something. And I changed the lighting in here. I think it took off the shadow, actually. I think we're being overly defensive, but also the 7 of Swords can also mean that someone's trying to take something from you and you're trying to protect yourself. There's that. So it's not always that you're being too critical, but it can be. So let's keep going and see if we can figure it out. I think you're being overly defensive and blocking what's meant for you. Oh, I see the shadow still. Oh, well, it's better. I think you've been blocking something. And I think this Neptune retrograde stuff that's been going on at the tail end of the zodiac is here for a reason. It's a total karmic reset. I talk about it in the video, but we are at the end of a cycle, and that's for all of us. So this is good, though, because this is our security and what we want, it's the happy ever after card. And I think it's there. I think we're getting a sense of what would make us happy, but I think we've been blocking it. And I think we're going to have a sudden realization about how we've been our own worst enemy here, blocking something. I don't think this is someone else. And then I get the, I apologize to we get the Page of Wands, which is good. This is all that Sagittarius energy with the personal planets, so many in Sag right now. This is us getting the feeling finally that we're getting some hope about where we want to move forward and where we can move forward and what gives meaning and purpose to us. And that's poor. I can't get the sentence out. Is a discovering where we want to, what will lead us, what actions will lead us to our true purpose and what will give meaning to our lives. We're starting to feel like what we've been missing, and the actions that we need to take and we can take that will lead us toward that. So this is really hopeful. These two cards are really hopeful, and actually they all are, but I was just kind of curious about this one. And then I wasn't quite sure what I meant when I drew these at the bottom, but I was thinking, because the whole thing was about relationship energy, really, because I was thinking about Venus and the North and South nodes. But I kind of felt like these two cards were the foundation, like the emotional. I was thinking about the emotional side of it. And then I got the King of Cups, who's the wounded healer. He's the one that comes in to heal everybody. He brings in so much empathy that he can heal others, but he can't always heal himself. He's got a little disorder going on around him, but it's a healing energy, and it may feel kind of sloppy inside yourself, a little bit kind of like the waves are churning, but it's coming to heal you. So it's a good thing, and it's coming from inside yourself. There could be someone else, a masculine influence that's coming in, but I think it's coming from ourselves. But, you know, it could be either way. Because then I get the Hermit, which is us taking a step back. You know, we've been wandering through the forest in the dark with little lights to guide us, and here's a little light right in front of us, and we're like, oh, okay, I get it. But we're still in the woods by ourselves. We're not jumping out immediately. But at least he's showing us here so we don't trip over the stick. And, you know, it's about taking time, though, to go within and not jumping forward necessarily with what you've learned, but just absorb it for a while and let it heal you. It's something very healing coming in. And again, it moves you toward what will make you happy, because I think it's been blocked, and I think you've been blocking it. But we get, with the Fool, we get a new perspective. We get to start over with something. And as I said in the astrology video, you know, when Neptune and Saturn move into Aries at the beginning of the year, one is in January and one's in February, that's going to move things along. Okay, then I drew 3 shadow cards, and okay, they're interesting. I think I'll show them all together because I think they all go together. We get the 5 of Swords. This is fighting, but it's it turns out that the enemy is within. It may be projected outward, and you may see it in someone and have an issue with someone, but it's actually our own shadow that we're fighting here, because these are shadow cards. And it came out with the 6 of Pentacles, giving and receiving. I just want to show you all of them. And the 3 of Swords. Okay, so there's something that we're fighting within that may be projected outward, that we may find in other people, and it's sort of coming around, and it's something you need to look at inside yourself, and you need to ask yourself, okay, what's out of balance, especially in the area of giving and receiving? Have you been doing too much giving? Have you been doing too much receiving? You need to balance that out, whichever way you think it's out of balance, and it could be either one. But you need to think about that, because you're in an attack mode here, but it's because something's out of balance, and maybe it has been all your life, I don't know. But there's a new way to look at it. There's a new way to look at it, and it will change things on a physical level. And it's something that has broken your heart. It's been very painful. So look at the relationships in your life, and you know, the ones that hurt us the most are the ones, of course, that are with people we care about the most. There's that great fact of life. So where have you been the most wounded? And, you know, we need to forgive ourselves, but we also need to take responsibility for maybe where maybe we didn't give enough. Don't beat yourself over the head. Just take the lesson forward, and, you know, let it inform your next relationship. And again, we get to do some healing here, so that's good. And then I drew 2 of the Wisdom of the Oracle, Colette Baron Reid cards, and I got round and round, and I was like, oh, I didn't really want it, but it makes sense because we are at the end of the Neptune in Pisces cycle at 29 degrees. Neptune just went direct, thank God. And so we are coming to a karmic ending here. But here's the good news. You may feel like, oh my God, why does the same thing keep happening over and over, especially in relationships? But here's the thing that you may not realize right off the bat. You have a different perspective because you are at a whole different level. Yes, you might be going through something similar, but you're at a whole different level. You've learned so much. It doesn't have to end the way it did before. It doesn't even have to start the way it did before because you have a different perspective. Truly. And it's funny, when I picked up the deck, this card popped in my mind and then it came out. Treasure Island. This is great. This is finding, what you need. It's there within you and without you. And I want to read the last, is it the protection message? Yeah. It says, poverty consciousness and a sense of not enough cast a shadow on your path. These ideas and core beliefs come with a high cost. Do you really want to proclaim yourself a victim of disappointment and failed expectations? Are you avoiding success because you will grow so tall that others will want to cut you down? Or is it possible that you're caught in a fear that you will lose what you have acquired, so you hold on so tight that you miss the opportunity to expand? You are challenged to change the way you see the world and move from a perception of limitations to a perception of abundance. Take a risk, for you have nothing to lose except your confinement in a prison of your own making. Open the door and find the abundance waiting for you to claim it. Yeah, I think that's evident here. It can be a painful realization to realize that you've created your own prison and you've been the jailer. That doesn't feel good, but it's better than finding out that it's something over which you have no control, right? And I'm not saying we have control over everything right now when things are so karmic, but we have control over more than we realize. And that's going to come to pass very soon when all this, when Saturn and Neptune move into Aries. That will come to pass. So I think that's a very positive message. And it's funny, I was just thinking about the movie Treasure Island, the original. I think it was made by Disney, 1949 or something. Somebody was doing a pirate imitation on TV, and I thought to myself, God, I love pirates. And then I thought, where did that come from? And then I thought, probably from that movie, Treasure Island, because it was so awesome. So here's Treasure Island. Yeah, I'm glad to see it. See, no pun intended. Well, that's really lame. Okay. Anyway, leave me a comment. Let me know how this energy is treating you. I really think things are going to start moving forward. They already are, in my opinion, but it's going to be a slow slog, but it's going to be, nothing ever just goes like straight up, but I think it's going to be good. That's my pronouncement. Okay, thank you so much for listening. Please hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons, and I will talk to you later. Blessings. Good night.